Welcome to Echoes of the Unknown, the podcast where we'll be exploring some of the world's most fascinating unsolved mysteries. I'm Jack Montgomery, and today we're looking back at a famous case that's one of Hollywood's greatest unsolved crime puzzles: the murder of famed silent film director William Desmond Taylor. This case, full of scandal, cover-ups, and intrigue, has captivated true crime enthusiasts and historians for over a century. Let's unravel the mystery together. Taylor's unsolved murder stands as one of Hollywood's most intriguing cold cases, occurring during the glittering heights of the silent film era. On February 2nd, 1922, the successful director was found dead in his Los Angeles bungalow, setting off a chain of events that would expose the dark underbelly of early Hollywood. The crime scene initially appeared deceptively simple: a well-dressed man who seemed to have collapsed in his own home. However, what began as a presumed natural death quickly evolved into something far more sinister, setting off a chain of events that would expose the dark underbelly of early Hollywood. The murder itself occurred under mysterious circumstances. It was a quiet Wednesday morning at 404 B South Alvarado Street in LA's upscale Westlake district. The sun had barely risen at 7:30 a.m. when Taylor's valet, Henry Peavy, knocked on the door of the 49-year-old film director's bungalow. There was no answer. When he finally pushed open the door, Peavy discovered his employer lying motionless on the living room floor. Taylor was dressed as if he had simply collapsed in the middle of the evening, but something was wrong, very wrong. At first, it was assumed that Taylor had suffered a heart attack, but that initial assumption was quickly dispelled when authorities discovered the truth. He had been shot, a single bullet fired into his back. Witnesses later reported seeing one or more shadowy figures fleeing the scene around 8 p.m., the night before the discovery, adding another layer of intrigue to the case. One of them, Taylor's neighbor Faith McLean, said she made eye contact with a person leaving his bungalow, who she believed may have been a woman dressed as a man. When authorities proceeded with their formal investigation, they saw no signs of forced entry or a struggle, suggesting that Taylor likely knew his killer. Instead, they found an unusual crime scene. Valuable items, including cash and expensive jewelry, remained untouched, suggesting this wasn't a simple robbery. Most tellingly, someone had apparently searched through the home and potentially removed documents, indicating either an effort to dispose of evidence or possibly to hide sensitive information. The victim himself was far from an ordinary Hollywood figure. Born in Ireland as William Cunningham Dean Tanner, Taylor had reinvented himself after mysteriously abandoning his wife and child in New York in 1908. He emerged in Hollywood years later, eventually becoming one of the industry's most respected directors. With over 50 films to his credit, his professional connections included collaborations with silent film luminaries like Mary Pickford, Mabel Normand, and Wallace Reed. His refined manners, educational background, and mysterious air made him a fascinating figure in the burgeoning film industry. However, his double life suggested a man comfortable with deception, raising questions about what other secrets he might have harbored. The discovery of his past life following his death sent shockwaves through the Hollywood community, which had accepted him as one of their own, without question. The investigation revealed a complex web of potential suspects, each with compelling motives. Mabel Normand was a famous silent film actress and a very good friend of Taylor's, and she had the bad luck to be the last person, besides the killer, known to have seen him alive. Normand had visited him that fateful night, leaving a little after 7:30 p.m. Taylor walked her out to her car on Alvarado Street, and then he returned to his house for the last time. Their relationship was close, and there were rumors that it might have extended beyond mere friendship. Taylor had reportedly been helping Norman battle cocaine addiction, raising questions about whether drug connections may have played a role in his death. Indeed, there are reports that Taylor got into a fistfight with a drug dealer who was making a delivery to her. In addition, Assistant U.S. Attorney Thomas Green said publicly that Taylor had asked the government's assistance in combating organized crime, which peddled drugs to people in the film industry. Perhaps the most dramatic suspects were actress Mary Miles Minter and her mother, Charlotte Shelby. The investigation revealed several compelling pieces of evidence. Among the most provocative was a collection of love letters found in Taylor's locked drawer, written by Minter, who was only 19 at the time. These passionate missives revealed an intense, possibly unrequited infatuation with the much older director. The letters, filled with declarations of love and longing, painted a picture of a complicated relationship that could have turned deadly. However, more attention focused on the young actress's mother, who strongly opposed any relationship between her daughter and the director. Shelby's overly controlling attitude toward her daughter's career provided a potential motive. Shelby was known to own a gun similar to the murder weapon, though it was never found. Some theorize that she might have taken drastic action to protect her daughter's reputation. Yet another leading suspect was Edward Sands, Taylor's former valet, who had a criminal history that included forgery, embezzlement, and check fraud. After being fired for forging Taylor's signature on checks, Sands resurfaced shortly before the murder, only to disappear afterwards. He was never seen again. His criminal background and sudden vanishing act raised obvious questions about his potential guilt and connection to the crime. Some theorize that Sands might have returned to blackmail Taylor about secrets he had learned while employed by him. The case takes on additional intrigue when considering the strong likelihood of a Hollywood studio cover-up. During the silent film era, studios wielded enormous power and routinely suppressed scandals to protect their investments. Studio executives at Paramount Pictures, Taylor's employer, reportedly interfered with the crime scene before police arrived. In fact, the police investigation was hampered from day one by interference from powerful Hollywood figures. The investigation's failure to secure a conviction spoke volumes about the power dynamics in early Hollywood. Despite numerous leads and suspects, the case gradually cooled as key pieces of evidence mysteriously disappeared, and witnesses altered their testimonies. The Hollywood machine's ability to protect its own interests and its valuable assets, those being the stars who might be implicated in the scandal, ultimately proved stronger than the pursuit of justice. It effectively derailed any chance of solving the case. The ripple effects of Taylor's murder extended far beyond the immediate investigation, having had a profound impact on Hollywood's image. It exposed the dark underbelly of the film industry during the Roaring '20s, revealing how fame, fortune, and reputation could be destroyed overnight. The case demonstrated how effectively Hollywood could bury its secrets, even in the face of a high-profile murder investigation. The scandal led to public outrage and calls for reform in the motion picture industry, ultimately leading to the establishment of the Motion Picture Production Code, designed to regulate moral content in films. The case also had devastating personal consequences. Mary Miles Minter faded into obscurity, and Mabel Norman's career never recovered from her association with the scandal. Although she was closely questioned, investigated, and exonerated by the police, the rumors and her drug problem persisted, feeding each other in a spiraling decline. By the time she died of tuberculosis in 1930, at the young age of 37, She had not worked in several years. As she lay in her bed dying, Norman reportedly mused sadly, "I wonder who killed poor Bill Taylor." A fascinating twist emerged in the 1960s when former silent film actress Margaret Gibson suffered a heart attack at her Hollywood home. Sensing that she was dying, a highly distraught Gibson, a recently converted Catholic, asked for a priest and then confessed to neighbors that she had killed Taylor. She had apparently made similar remarks the previous evening while watching a local television program that featured a short segment about Taylor's unsolved murder. However, like many aspects of this case, her confession lacks substantial supporting evidence and only added to the mystery rather than resolving it. Although Gibson was indeed in Los Angeles at the time of the murder, her name was never mentioned during the investigation, and no surviving documentation refers to any association between Taylor and her after 1914. If anything, this late revelation simply demonstrates how the case continued to evolve and generate new leads decades after the actual crime. A century later, the truth behind Taylor's murder remains elusive, and several compelling theories have emerged. Was it a crime of passion by a spurned lover? A fiercely protective mother's desperate act? A vengeful former employee's retaliation? Perhaps a mob hit related to the drug trade? The answers likely died with those who knew the truth, leaving behind only speculation and theory. The case files, still maintained by the Los Angeles Police Department, continue to intrigue true crime enthusiasts and film historians alike. The story serves as a fascinating window into early Hollywood, revealing how the intersection of power, fame, and secrecy could create perfect conditions for both crime and cover-up. It remains a cautionary tale about the dark side of fame and the lengths to which an industry will go to protect its image, even at the expense of justice. Taylor's unsolved murder stands as a testament to the complex and often dangerous world of early Hollywood, where success and scandal walked hand in hand. The case contains all the ingredients of a classic Hollywood thriller, except this story sadly has no clear resolution. The passage of time has only complicated efforts to solve the crime. Although key evidence has been lost or destroyed and all witnesses are long deceased, the case continues to intrigue new generations of investigators and true crime enthusiasts. It has inspired numerous documentaries, books, and conspiracy theories. Even today, historians and amateur sleuths continue to dig through archives in an effort to uncover the truth. They pore over existing records, hoping to finally crack this century-old mystery, and the various theories and possibilities continue to generate debate and discussion among historians and crime researchers. The Taylor case serves as a reminder of Hollywood's complex history and the thin line between the glamorous facade and the industry's darker realities. It remains a testament to how power, money, and fame can influence justice, leaving some questions permanently unanswered. The tragic murder of William Desmond Taylor stands as one of the most compelling examples of how Hollywood's golden age often concealed darker truths beneath its glittering surface. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Echoes of the Unknown. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share with fellow mystery lovers. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember, some mysteries are only unsolved until the right person starts asking the right questions.